right, good day to you. My name is Fred Oakman, and as always with me today is Mr. Jake Peters. We are PS This Is Awesome, a PlayStation podcast, and this is episode 234. This is a show where we share our feelings about the current state of PlayStation. But before we get on with the show, I want to invite you all to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, youtube.com/PS This Is Awesome. Go visit us on Twitter at PS This Is Awesome. And if you want to make fun of our trophy list on the PSN or bathe in the glory of them, you can find me at anchorless_81 and Mr. Jake Peters at jakesaw01. And you can write us at psthisisawesome@gmail.com. And most importantly, do not forget to share the show with your friends and all your fellow gamers. Make sure you leave comments and rate our podcast as you see fit. And as a reminder, this is a video podcast as well. So instead of just listening to it like you were born in the 80s, you can actually watch us on YouTube. So make sure you do that. And new and or long-time listeners, we now have a Patreon where you can support our show at a $1 level. It's called the One and Only $1 Club. $1 a month. You can head over to patreon.com/PS This Is Awesome, and you can become a $1 patron, support our show, and we will mail you a free die-cut vinyl sticker in the mail, so long as you live in the U.S., and a shout-out on our show. With that out of the way, Jake, how are we today?
Good. It's been a good weekend. Did a lot of family stuff this weekend. Been super busy.
Yeah.
Went to the local medieval fair today, which is always interesting.
Is that one out by Grove City?
No, it's over in Ohio. It's the Great Lakes Medieval Fair. Sarah and I rode the motorcycle over there.
Ooh. Please tell me you were dressed as Geralt on a motorcycle.
No, but we did talk about that. I told her that it would be really awesome to show up on show up to the medieval fair on a chopper dressed as fucking Geralt of Rivia.
That'd be so rad,
that would be so fucking funny. But no, we did not have any outfits on this time.
That's all right.
She was talking about maybe next year making something, because I think next weekend's the last weekend. Maybe there's a couple weeks left. I don't remember, but it's always fun. I mean, we've been over there a few times. We don't really do a lot of participation, but we like watching a lot of the shows and stuff that they do, and walking around and just looking at everyone's outfits and looking at the the custom or homemade things that people are selling and just get food and stuff. I don't know. It's fun. They were doing this cool today. They were doing this cool show where it was a guy who was doing stunts on horses, but not jumping his horse and stuff. He had these huge horses. Yeah. And he was riding them bareback, and what he would do is while they're running around, he would jump up and stand on their back.
Oh yeah.
With no hands. And he would one of the craziest things he did was he had two horses, he was standing on one and the other one was running beside him, and while they were both running, he did a backflip from one horse to the other horse, and it's insane shit. These people must literally practice every day their entire life to be able to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But lots of cool things like that. People doing tricks with fire and all kinds of shit. It was pretty
sword stuff.
Pretty neat.
Sure.
Yeah, and then we got back, and my parents and my nephew came over, and we did some swimming in the pool, which is always fun.
Yeah.
If
a good day
exhausting. Yeah.
Good.
So how about you?
Yeah, played a show on Friday. Sarah probably told you I drank too much. It was ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It wasn't even my fault. I know you've heard it before.
Consumed it. You consumed it. No, it's your fault.
If you know,
consumed it, it's your fault.
But you know me well enough to know that I don't really imbibe very much in the spirits. I do like to have a whiskey drink once in a while we play. But these ones, I don't know if it was that I've been in the heat. I ran earlier that day, and I was in the sun a little bit. I think I ran that day. No, I don't think I did, because it was Friday and I worked. I don't know. I didn't eat much, so that probably was what tied me up. But anyways, man, I knew that my third set, I knew it was bad. It was not a good situation, and I was playing fine. You know what I mean? It sounded fine, at least to me it did. There's no video evidence. Anyways, had fun Friday night, but yeah, Saturday, I kind of laid low. I was dog sitting. My wife went to a concert out in Cleveland with her friend, and they ended up staying out there. They had already pre-booked like a hotel, so I had a bachelor night Saturday, and I always try to like stay out late or stay up late rather in those situations. But like as soon as like 10 o'clock hits, I'm just like, I gotta go to bed. I'm so tired. So
yeah.
But I started playing PGA 2K21 a little bit more, and today I finished up some painting. I 3D printed some doors. I made that custom Hero quest, and I spent a lot of time last week doing a lot of photoshopping to make the booklet actually look like an official booklet. And then I tried to find a place that could one-off print it in like the size that I needed. So the problem I ran into was I ended up going with Staples online, and it was like $13, and they could do it on nice thicker paper and like bind it. And it was only like 8 or 9 pages. It had to have been an even number. It must have been 8 or 10 pages. But I spent a lot of time, man, trying to lay that thing out. And then when I finally got the proof of it, it's like it still has white borders. And I'm like, fuck, I don't even care. Like, just send it through, because they can't print right to the edge. They didn't have the exact size. I was hoping that they would either blow it up or like I could shrink mine down to fit. But it doesn't even matter, because it's probably the most professional custom quest ever made for Hero Quest. Like, I have 3D minis that I printed for it, extra doors. I had actual cards made from a card making company to like accommodate the quest or the campaign. It's like 4 quests, so I wrote all of the flavor text, the whole story, everything. It's all done. I'm just waiting for the booklet to come back, and I'm finishing painting the custom bosses I made for it. So I even play tested it 3 times by myself, and I would let enough time pass that I couldn't remember what I did in the quest. So like I would just roll and do, and I'd be like, oh, what's in this door? And I'd glance real quick and put the shit down, and then I'd battle it out. And it's pretty balanced, I think. So I mean, I was able to get through it. So it should be fun, man. So I've been doing a lot of nerdy stuff. I had the motorcycle out today for a little bit, and outside of that, man, just trying to I guess enjoy the last couple hours of Sunday before we got to go back to work. So
heck yeah.
Yeah, I want to address something real quick. We had another comment on our YouTube page on the last episode 233, and someone had written and they said, hey, this is a feature now on YouTube. Can you please like bookmark your chapters, the different things that you're talking about? And they're like, the person was like, they're always on the go, and it's nice to have that to like kind of get back into where they left off. And man, I 100% agree that it's an awesome feature and we need to use it. The only issue that I have is I need to come up with a way, because our podcasts are like an hour and like 15 minutes. So I want to do this, and I did do it on a few, but I want to do it again. But I got to find a way to figure out how to time code our conversations, or at least I just need to write down where we're at on the video. But then I add that intro and it shimmies everything by like, I don't know, 1 minute and 45 seconds or something, or maybe like a minute. I don't know. There's a little bit of math involved.
I think if you just literally started like a Google timer when the show starts, and then just add like 1.5 minutes to everything, or just start a Google timer 1.5 minutes before we start recording the show, and then as long as you're in the ballpark, I think people will be happy. I don't think you necessarily need to be like on the downbeat when we fucking start the conversation about whatever. They're going to be real pissed about it. If you're just in the ballpark, I think they'll be okay.
I appreciate the feedback from the listeners and the viewers rather on YouTube. I agree. I like that. And again,
it can be a lot of work though.
It's a ton of work to do. It's a ton of work to do what we're doing now. I mean, we don't make any money on it. Well, we do. We do make money now. We make very, very minimal money thanks to our patrons, but we make some. We've been doing this a long time without bringing anything in. And so those kind of things are not that I'm less inclined to do them, because we don't have, it's hard to justify putting that much time into something. We're doing the podcast already. And then I kind of worry a little bit too with the chapter things that I want people, I don't know if it's going to deter people from listening to the whole show or not, because I want people to listen to the whole show. But at the same time, if they just get in there and they see all the chapters, like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with what they're talking about, then I guess that serves the listeners, and that's more on us for not talking about something people want to hear about. So maybe we'll just try to do the chapter things. It ain't going to be this show, I'll tell you that. Don't have it in place this time, but we will probably try to do it for 235. So thanks for writing. We'll try to do that, and maybe we can get some more YouTube views that way. So appreciate the suggestion. And let's get to some games that we're playing, Jake. I mentioned earlier I'm playing PGA 2K21, and then Crash 4 we were supposed to play because that was the PS Plus extra game that we were going to discuss briefly. And I know you had already started playing it. You had told me you had, and I don't know how far you got into it or not. But let's hear what you're playing, and then we'll get into a quick Crash 4 talk, and then we'll get into the news.
So I didn't play much more Crash 4 from the last time that I talked about it, but I did play it a bit. But this week I've been playing Destiny and Stray. I beat Stray this morning, actually.
Nice.
So I've been having a good time. I bought because it's on sale right now for, I think, $23. I bought the Witch Queen expansion for Destiny.
Nice.
So I've been diving in. I started that. I haven't really gotten very far yet. And then, Stray is a fucking awesome game. I think that this game is so cool and so unique. And I don't know if I'd go as far as to say that it's like my game of the year, but it's something that I'm really, really happy that I played.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that people are loving this game, because hopefully it means that we'll get more games like this. So kudos to B12 and Annapurna for coming out with this game, because it is really good. And it sounds like you haven't started or played it yet.
I haven't bought up yet, yeah.
But it's I'm not saying that this is a pretty small game. I don't know that it's anything we need to really do a spoiler cast about or anything, but like it's I think it's a game that will touch the hearts of a lot of people. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Good. Let me double back real quick on the 2K21. I sent you a tweet or a message from a thing that was happening in this game. This was a free PS Plus game a while back, and I've been really into golf this year. I actually have a golf hat on right now. It's got 2 clubs. Kind of funny. But I also have a Destiny shirt on too, which is like perfectly serendipitous. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let me see. You see the logo?
Oh, yeah.
Got a Destiny shirt.
Where'd you get that?
It was a Loot Crate shirt that I just got mailed one day when I was doing Loot Crates. And so, yeah, I forgot I had it. I pulled it out today. It's really comfortable, large shirt. Just threw it on and rocking it. And but no, back to 2K21. This game, it's funny. I had some really, really nice chip-ins I put on our Twitter account. And I was really excited about it. I had a really good run going. And I saved the video. And I got to like hole, I don't know what hole it was. And it would freeze, like it would show my shot. Like it didn't have to be like a putt. It had to go to a hole. It was like my second swing or something on a hole, and like the Wi-Fi symbol showed up in the bottom right corner, and it just locked the game up. And I couldn't press pause. I couldn't go to the menu. I just couldn't do anything. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like my internet connection is fine. I don't have issues with internet. So I actually had to go into the home menu and just close the golf game, because I let it sit for like 20 minutes. I went and like did laundry, and then I looked and it was still froze there. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? So then I searched, and apparently this was like a known issue. And the only way to get around it, because what it is what the system tries to do, there's a feature where you can watch replays from other players playing the game online. And it will cut to them and like a nice shot somebody made. And the announcer was like, oh, let's take a look at hole 17 and see what happened over there just now, Bob, shall we? And then when it works, it does that, and then you can see this online player making a really nice shot or something. So it's like on the broadcast feature. So the problem is that Maybe it's not finding the players, maybe, whatever. But
Did you turn it off?
yes, so that's the workaround. So you have to know to go in and turn it off. I didn't know what it was because all it showed was an internet logo, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on? Is this their sign for loading? Like what is going? Like it's really weird. I didn't know what it was. It's not transparent what it's trying to do, and I didn't realize when it was working that was like online players. I just figured it was like, NPC players, like on the same tournament or something. But I guess it was like online players. I don't know. It was a weird feature. I got around it. I'm enjoying the game. I'm doing really well. Some holes are way more difficult than others, as is the sport of golf. But I do enjoy it, and it's really peaceful to sit down and just hit 18 holes real quick. It's fun. It's fun to do. And you mentioned that it's kind of janky, like when you saw the clip, like the character animations, and they're not great by any stretch, but the courses look pretty good, and I think the gameplay mechanics are pretty decent. So I don't know, if you haven't tried it, man, I'm sure it's in your library. You should download it and mess with it a bit. It was really fun.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll get into a sports game, and there are specific types of sports games that I really enjoy. Like I've always really enjoyed every so often getting into FIFA. Every so often I'll get into a golf game or a soccer game, something, or I already said FIFA, but like a NHL game or something like that. But yeah, I wouldn't mind giving it a try, just especially because it's free. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, we'll wait till winter when you want to feel like you're outside and in the green.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Crash 4. Every month, when they announce the new PlayStation Plus games that are coming out, PS Plus Extra, I guess I should call it. Or is it just, right? It's just called Extra now.
Essential.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Essential games, rather. So when they announce them, we agree that we're going to pick one and play it that month. We're not going to beat the thing. We're not going to do whatever. We're going to do whatever we can with that game. And then by the end of the month, we will have a quick discussion about the game and what our opinions are and what we thought of it, and maybe recommend or maybe not recommend it to the listeners. So this month, for the month of July, we decided to pick Crash 4. What's called a Crash? It's About Time? No.
It's About Time.
Is it? It's About Time? Yeah. So I played. I'll tell you how much I played through. I played the first whole world area, and then you use the transporter, right? And you teleport to the whole new area. So the first area is like 3 or 4 levels and a boss, and then the second area is 3 or 4 levels and a boss. And that's as far as I made it, and I just got to the pirate world. So just an FYI. Quick thoughts on the game. If you like Crash Bandicoot, you'll probably really like this.
Yeah.
Other thought is this game is way harder than I thought it was going to be.
It's real hard.
Yeah. And
it's real hard.
And number 3, I think the boss battles are kind of fun so far.
Yeah, I played it some. I don't even know if I even got as far as you did, but I did play it enough to know that like it's a solid platformer. The platforming is really fun. Everything works mechanically really well, which is all you can really ask for in a platformer. The bad guys are nice in terms of like their design and the way that you fight them and things like that. The bonus levels are really cool. I don't know if you've been doing the bonus levels whenever you've been playing.
I can't.
But they usually end up being hard, like even harder than the regular part of the level.
Yeah.
So, and like I don't know if you noticed, but if you get like all the I think it's all the gems in the levels, you can unlock character skins.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I don't think I've gotten all the gems on any level because they're just it's really hard to get them. And so it will take a gamer that's much better than me to be able to play this game to complete, not necessarily beat the game, but to actually play it to full completion, unlock all the skins and everything like that. I've been playing as I can't remember her name, the Lady Crash, whatever that is. Because you could just, after the first area, you can choose if you want to play as Crash Bandicoot or the girl version.
Is there a difference in how they play or no?
I don't believe so. I think they play exactly the same, at least as far as I can tell. there are some moves and stuff that like I struggled with.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's I hate these moves in games where you have to like crouch then jump.
Oh yeah,
Do you know what I
gotta
mean?
hold
To
the
do
button and
like
double jump.
to do like an extra high jump or whatever. I'm not saying that there's anything particularly wrong with them. I'm just really bad at doing them.
Yeah.
So I would much rather just straight up Super Mario style, just literally jump, and that's it. You can run, you can walk, you can jump. If you've got the special hat on, you can shoot fireballs. That's about it. And I'm not saying that Crash like gets out of control with it, but there are some like special moves that you do, and you have to know them to be able to beat like some of these bonus levels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But all in all, I'd say the game is really good. It's really well made. I didn't notice any really like hitching or glitching or issues with it.
Right.
So, I mean, if you're interested in 3D platformers, or if you just generally like Crash, I'd definitely say give this thing a shot. Just be prepared to struggle if you're not like
it's
an
definitely a
ace at
lighthearted
freaking 3D
game, but the
platformers.
difficulty is there. It's tough.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, and the levels aren't super long, so you can get through level if you're not dying 15 times in a level. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I'm not even sure how that works with dying in the game, because I don't think I've gotten to the point where it ever set me back to the beginning. If I've hit a continue mark, I think it penalizes you for all the deaths that you've had on your final score in the level.
I believe there's a penalty for each death that you have, but you have a choice at the beginning of the game if you want to play like, you know, contemporary mode or classic mode. I don't really remember what the actual names are, but one of them is like if you get to a checkpoint, you can just keep playing, and the other mode is like the classic arcade mode where you have a number of lives, and if you die, then you go back. You're done.
Dunzo.
You go back to the beginning of the game.
Yeah, I don't think I'm playing that way. I think I'm...
Yeah, so, and I chose not to play that way either, just because I wanted to be able to kind of see some of the game, because I know that especially like by the time I got to like the fourth or fifth level, I was already dying like 10, 11 times in a run when I would try to beat a level. Now a lot of this was because I was adamant on trying to beat like the bonus levels and stuff.
Yeah, did you get to the level where you have to use the suit to make platforms disappear and reappear?
I didn't get to the one. I got to a level where you are traversing platforms that are appearing and disappearing, but I didn't get to the one where you actually are able to control it.
Yeah, so when I got to that point, I was like dying all the time because it's triggered with the R2 button. So you'd have to jump in midair because the platform you're on, if you hit R2 while you're on it, will disappear and you'll fall and die. So you have to jump, press R2 to get the platform in between you and the other one to disappear, and then you got to hurry up and click it again before you land on the transparent platform, and it just goes on for an entire level, this kind of shit. And it was just like, this isn't impossible, but I could see how like someone could really struggle, because I had trouble with it. The one thing about the platforming that I really liked about it, and I think it might be an upgrade from previous Crash Bandicoot games, I don't know, but when you're in the air, they put a little reticule on the ground where you're gonna land, so you always know where you're gonna land. So like in
I
3D
did see that,
space,
and that's it. When you're in a 3D space, that's really helpful.
it was just little touches like that were really nice.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah,
I like it.
Cool. I'd recommend it for anyone who wants to try it. That was a nice offering from Sony, that game. Let's move forward a little bit, Jake. So that was our little quick discussion on Crash 4. It's about time. If you guys want to play along in the month of August, we now know what the games are that are coming out. And I know right away what I want to play.
It's a fucking banging month for games.
Yeah, I already know what
Essential.
my game... So here are the options. For August, PlayStation Plus Essentials, we're getting Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, Yakuza Like a Dragon, or Little Nightmares. I've already played and beat Little Nightmares, so that's off the table for me, unless you absolutely want to play that, Jake. My pick's Tony Hawk.
I assume you're going to say Tony Hawk.
You want Yakuza?
I'm all about it.
Oh, okay.
I'm all about it. I personally want to play Yakuza Like a Dragon because I've heard it's really good. but I think that for the podcast, it makes more sense for us to do a more bite-sized game. I'm not to say Tony Hawk 1 and 2 are bite-sized, but it's like you can play it a few levels.
I can't wait.
Kind of roll a little bit here and there, do some open world skating, whatever, and then just kind of we can talk about it. Those games, plus I'm just anxious to play them because I loved those games back in the day. I didn't play a ton of Tony Hawk 1, but I played a lot more Tony Hawk 2.
Yeah, 2 was huge.
And I'm actually bummed that they didn't play, that they're not redoing Tony Hawk 3 and 4, because Tony Hawk 3 might actually be the one that I played the most, but 1 and 2 are both really good. The only bummer about 1 is that even though it was like the genesis of everything, it was like a downhill course. It wasn't like you could just skate around. You just like you made one run down this hill, and like if you wanted to get all the letters of skate and stuff like that, you couldn't miss it, because if you missed it, then you had to start to run all over to be able to get them. So
it's a downhill jam.
But anyway, yeah, I agree with you. I think that Tony Hawk should be the one for the show. The listeners may be more interested in something like Little Nightmares or
dude, this one's for us.
Like a Dragon, but I want to play Tony Hawk.
And that's it's our podcast. We get to pick. So if you want to join us this month, download Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 for the PS Plus Essential. Download. Make sure you add the other games to your library also so you don't miss out on them. You're a fool if you're not downloading or at least adding all of them to your library. Make sure you do that. And Tony Hawk will be the game. We'll talk about it at the end of August. Jake, let's move on to some news here. Sony revealed that 79% of all of the PS4, PS5 game purchases in their latest fiscal quarter were all digital purchases. This is a crazy trend. So I think that this is where things are going for sure. And this explains probably why they released a digital-only PS5. You know what I mean? Like I think that there's some teeth to this. And the thing of it is, though, is like I still get physical games when they're if they're cheaper than I can find them online or digital on the PSN, which doesn't happen often, but it will happen on like Black Friday or like if like a store's running a deal. Like I got No Man's Sky for $5 in a clearance bin at Walmart. I also picked up for $5, or it might have been $10, Hades for PS5, and I still haven't even touched it. You can't find those games for those prices. So if I get lucky, I want to have the option to pick them up at a really good deal. Now, granted, the PSN always has sales, right? Always. There's always good deals. I think the Metro Collection, the Saga, was like under $15 recently, and that's just insane. So what's your take on this, about the trend showing digital purchases?
I mean, I'm all about it. I mean, this is just, it's inevitable. Eventually, there will be no physical games. I mean, it literally doesn't make sense for the first party. The only reason why, it's kind of common knowledge, but the only reason why the first party even does physical games anymore is because they need stores like Walmart and stuff to sell the consoles. Mm-hmm. So, and if it wasn't for that, they probably wouldn't do physical games at all. I personally, like, if there's a game, I think that you'd be shocked at how much more money I'm willing to spend on a game if it's digital than physical. Like, a game would literally have to be like 80% cheaper for me to buy a physical version over a digital version. It's just, I'm at the point now where I hate all of what comes with having to like load a disc into your console. And then if it's like a PS4 disc, then on the PS5 sometimes there's like 2 versions of the game on your console. And it's just fucking annoying. Honestly, the only reason why, well, first of all, the only reason why I have a PS5 is because you got one for me. But if I was buying one and I had the option, the only reason why I would choose the disc version over the discless version is because, yeah, it's nice to have the option in case you do have an old disc, like a PS4 disc or something you want to play. But it's more like if I want to watch a movie that's on disc than like if I want to watch or want to play a game. Right. Now, even that, like that's
4K, whatever the capabilities are now, right? Like the Ultra HD, whatever.
Like if you, because a lot of stores and stuff now, it used to be that I could go on the PSN and rent almost any movie I wanted, but they don't do that anymore.
Right.
And so sometimes you can get a lot of those movies on Amazon or whatever, but a lot of times you can't. Some movies aren't available or you can't see them. So like, if I want to watch, I don't know, freaking Pet Sematary or something like that, and I can't find a stream for it where I can pay to rent it, it's nice to be able to have the disc to be able to do it. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is really cool. I don't have like strong opinions one way or the other about it. I think that people are going to be bummed about the fact that they can't collect games anymore, the fact that physical is kind of going away. But the thing is now is that when you buy a physical game, you're not buying an actual game anymore. You're just buying like
the permission to
like a download code, basically. I mean, you still have to do all this updating and shit before you can. Now, a lot of games still do come 100% on disc, and you can play it without the internet and all of that. But like famously, Halo Infinite, that disc is literally just a download code. There is nothing on that disc. So someone went out, bought the physical version, and they're like, I'm a collector, but this disc has literally nothing on it. It's just a piece of plastic with a download code.
Yeah.
So the larger games get, the less they're going to be able to be fit on disc, and the more people are going to, the more this trend is going to be. And I think what's going to happen is it's going to become more boutique, like limited run games and things like that are going to be the ones that take over. And you're not going to see the first parties doing physical editions of games anymore. It's going to be like limited runs doing a physical release of, I don't know, Little Nightmares 3 or something like that, if that ever comes out. And that's where the collectors will get their rocks off, I guess. Don't know.
Well said. Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. And I think the older you get, the less clutter you want in your house. Like my house, dude, on my PlayStation, I have so many games just on the entertainment center. And I'm like, that if I could just get rid of those. But I don't know what to do with them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm almost at a point where we start having giveaways, I'll give away a used copy of a game here and there. Like, especially if I have the digital version at this point. You know what I mean? Like some of that Tomb Raider shit that I have. Like, I don't know, like you can't really sell that stuff anymore, especially the PS4 games. But can you put a PS4?
I'm trying to think about that. I'd love to look at my collection and see what the last physical version of a game was that I bought.
Yeah, I wonder.
It might be like Diablo 3.
Was it Red Dead? The Witcher?
The Witcher, I think, was before Diablo 3.
You and I went on some Black Friday sales, though. We went out a couple times, and you picked up some stuff. Resident Evil or something.
But most of that stuff was pretty early in the PS4 generation, so it's been a long time. I mean, I've been all digital for most of the PS4 and all of the PS5 generation.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even honestly almost tell you when the last time was I bought one.
It might have been that game you let me borrow, that horror game.
The Evil Within?
Yeah. That could have
Maybe.
That could have been it.
Could be that.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Anyways, interesting news point. Let's move forward. Welcome to the PS This Is Awesome Patreon page. For those of you that don't know, my name is Fred Oakman.
And I'm Jake Peters.
And we're a PlayStation podcast currently in our 10th year. Our first episode aired in July of 2012, where we discussed and speculated on the arrival of the PS4. Over the years, we've used this podcast to take a break from adulting, share our love of video games, and in particular, PlayStation.
The audio podcast is available on all major streaming services, and we have recently made the leap to uploading video content and video podcasting to our YouTube channel, as well as the very occasional Twitter post or live stream. Over the years, we have covered everything from PS3 to PS Vita through the launches of PS4, PSVR, and now PS5. As our audience has grown over the years, we have decided to start this Patreon with the hopes of creating a medium in which we can give you the opportunity to help support our show.
And as a test bed, we're starting with a single tier. It's called the one and only $1 Club. So with your support at the $1 level, we're going to mail you a premium vinyl cut sticker and give you a shout out on the podcast. But at this time, unfortunately, we can only ship to the US and Canada. But this is subject to change depending on your interest.
So whether you're new to the show or you're a frequent flyer, we are forever thankful for your support and hope you can find it in your little gaming heart to join us in the one and only $1 Club. Until next time, like PlayStation, podcasting, and Patreon. P.S. This is awesome.
Jake, as we still wait to see whether we're ever going to get another dedicated PlayStation Portable device, there's an officially licensed product now called the Backbone One PlayStation Edition, which uses your iPhone/Android device and the PlayStation app, almost like how the Switch has controller attachments, and you put your phone in there and you clamp it in there, and they're $99. So go to that link and take a look at this thing. And Sony, are behind this thing. I mean, to the point that they permitted the license, you know what I mean, to go out. So that could mean a couple things. That could mean that Sony's just, they're done. You know what I mean? They could just be done with it. PlayStation Portable stuff. But it's interesting. So you can use like remote play with these triggers, and you do have you get both analogs, and then you have the D-pad, and you have, it's almost laid out the way the old PSP was laid out. It looks like kind of. The D-pad is below the left analog, so it's a little weird there.
It's their offset trigger or offset sticks like an Xbox controller, but the shape of it is, it's like literally an amalgamation of the PlayStation controller, the Xbox controller, and the Switch controllers.
Yeah.
It literally looks like they made an amalgamation of all three of them.
So I looked a little bit more up about the Backbone, and this is just the PlayStation Edition version. They have multiple products very similar to this, and I don't know. It says play almost any game from your iPhone or Android device with Backbone One. It's actually really freaking cool, if I'm being honest. And I don't know exactly how it works. It says you don't need a console. You can play amazing games on the phone you have through Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, Google Stadia, or GeForce Now. No console or PC is required. You just use the streaming game service and use these clamps on. So they do now allow you to play PlayStation games through remote play.
Sure.
But I don't know that. I would be curious to see if the streaming service comes to this through the app somehow, right?
Probably. I mean, if you like the streaming version of PS Plus, whatever that is, in like premium or whatever.
Sure.
I imagine that would probably work, but maybe I'm wrong.
Is this anything you would ever consider for $99? Because you're always saying that you can't take your PS5 with you on these trips. Would this be something that you would... I know you had issues with the Vita and hurting your neck and your eyes and stuff. I think you always said like you always got headaches or something from playing it. What do you think? Would you ever buy into this?
No, because it's streaming only.
Fair enough.
And I just can't deal with the latency. There are some games where like I'd be able to do it, like if it was a turn-based game.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe like Yakuza Like a Dragon would be a good example of something where I could play that on my phone because it's a turn-based battle game. There's no
Chronicles or...
you don't have to have a whole lot of reaction time and stuff. But most games, if you're talking about platformers or shooters or anything like that, I wouldn't be able to tolerate. Even like racing games and stuff, like I don't know if I'd be able to tolerate the latency streaming it. But I like the idea. Like as this technology gets better and better, I mean, this is going to be a thing of the future. So I'm 100% in support of it. I just don't know if I'd pick one of these up if it was on sale for like $50 or something, but I don't know that I would pay $100 for one because I just don't know if I'd ever use it.
Yeah. Now let me follow that up with one more question before we go to the next news point. Do you think this is telling of where Sony is in terms of portable devices?
I think that at the very least, it is best case scenario. It gives Sony something to just kind of tell their constituents while they work on an actual portable device.
Right.
Worst case scenario, they never develop a new portable device and they're just like, this is our portable solution. I mean, it's one of those two things. It's my guess is probably more the latter. Like I don't know that they're ever going to make another portable device like a Vita 2 or whatever they would call the new one.
Yeah.
But if they did, this is just something that they could say can they can tide people over until that's the case.
Fair enough. And I want to tell the listeners, Jake, because you can't hear it, but I'm hearing beeps and stuff from Discord popping through. I got to figure out how to get other. I'm a member of one other Discord, and I've talked about the Lone Wolf book, Choose Your Own Adventure games, and I've been invited to their little server, and we've had this issue before in the podcast, and I tried to figure out like someone writing us somehow, and it's actually just a conversation going on in this other sub channel. And it's making little like bleep whenever someone says something, and I know it's recording while we're podcasting.
Can't you just like turn off notifications?
I don't know. Notification settings. It's probably going to ruin our video. Hold on, let me try something real quick. This is okay. Suppress everyone and everyone. Suppress all rules.
Disable all notification sounds. There is
Where?
If you go to settings and then go to notifications under app settings, there's a disable all notification sounds selection.
All right. I said mute new events, suppress rule mentions. All right. That should do it. All right. Sorry, guys, if you heard that. Thanks, Jake. Let's move forward to the next news point here. Beta testers who are involved in the possible new firmware update. Sony likes to do this. They like to roll out new firmware updates and let people try them out, try them on for size. They're rolling out an update to firmware, and it is now going to allow 1440p resolution, and it's going to also allow folders. So we're going to be able to create folders on the PS5 potentially, and they're going to be called game lists. So, and it's going to add a couple other social features to I guess essentially the firmware, allowing us to stack our folders and stuff, because it is kind of weird, the organization of how the games work in the PS5 home screen. And then speaking of that, I will indicate that the update seems to include callouts to PSVR 2. Most notably, there's a connection setting for the new PSVR 2 Sense controllers, and the 1440 resolution is clearly being implemented because that would be the resolution for the PSVR 2 headset, I believe. So, interesting. This is telling maybe that PSVR 2 is not that far off here. Maybe they're shooting for like Christmas or something. Holiday.
I'd be shocked. That would be cool. I'm all about it. But, man, if they were to like announce a release date here soon and it would be this year, that would be loco.
There you go. Little info on all that. Interesting. What's your take on the folder options? I think it's fine. Give it to us.
I mean, yeah, if that's something that people use, I know a lot of people used folders on PS4 and especially PS3.
I did.
I was never a big folder user, but that's mostly because I delete games off of my console. I don't keep very many games on my console. But some people like keeping a lot of stuff on their console, and they want folders to be able to organize them.
Yeah.
And so it's good that Sony is providing that feature.
Very well. Very well. I agree. I can't wait. Jake, let's keep cruising, bud. I just want to make it transparent, Jake. Naughty Dog, we give them a lot of praise, and we're always talking about how they still are the trailblazers for all of the extra for accessibility features for games. They're not the only studio that do provide updates to older games to offer more accessibility options. Recently, Resident Evil Village is getting an update right now to add accessibility options to it, which is really cool. Now, I looked at the list, nowhere near what Naughty Dog has done with their games. Not even close. But it's still nice, because we had the conversation last episode how anytime a game studio makes an attempt to try to make a game more available to other folks, it's a win for everybody. So I just wanted to say it's nice to see the trend still happening. And I don't know, any opinions on this?
No, that's cool. I mean, if it means more people can play that game, that's great.
Yeah, it's nice. So I'd like to call out another studio for doing something good, because we are very much open about how much we like Naughty Dog and what they've done. But yeah, there we go. And this is an interesting thing also. Sony rolled out what they call a hardware loan program for qualified indie studios and developers so that they can get their hands on a PS5 dev kit to start making games for PS5. Now, back when was it Shuhei? Was he like the big indie guy? Like he was really pushing indies? I know he's doing that now. Who was the guy that was like really promoting indies on the PS4 era?
Was it Gio Corsi?
Maybe. There was a big initiative.
I know that he was one of those. He was one of the guys that was pushing a lot of the third party and indie stuff.
Yeah. And I think with the success of Stray and with the interest, I'll say that game Roller Dome or whatever on Push Square.
Yeah.
I know you weren't keen on the graphics, but on Push Square they were saying this game handles miraculously. They're saying like it's so good, feels so good to play, and that's an indie game. So I like this little bit of a juke that PlayStation's maybe coming back and helping indie developers again. I like this news. This means that we're going to get maybe more cool stuff. Now, I know, Jake, you have made the comment before that, like, some of those little more artsy-fartsy games, not really 100% that you're super interested in them. Not that you're not, but, like, you know, you've kind of had your fill a little bit. You know, they kind of started to be kind of samey, a lot of these games. But
yeah,
I think with the break and lull that we've had, I think that maybe we might, in a year or two, might be seeing some resurgence of some indie games if this program that they're rolling out and developers take advantage of this. I think we might be able to see some of this. I don't know. I think it's good.
Yeah, I think it's a great program. Hopefully, the people that actually, I don't know what the business
qualification
details are of it, but hopefully it benefits hopefully it creates some good indie games and doesn't just generate a bunch of trash, because literally anybody can get their hands on a dev kit now.
Yeah, but I guess probably not. There's PS5 dev kits. They must be tough to get a hold of.
I would think so.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see what happens. I still want to play that game Lake, which is literally just you're a newspaper delivery person. Or a package deliverer, and it's like an indie game. It was on the PSN, and people are like, "Yeah, don't expect really anything except that you're just bicycling around and delivering packages or something." Like it's like I don't know why, but I really had a hankering to download it and play it, but I haven't yet. Speaking of games that I've been playing, though, Jake, let me backpedal a little bit because I didn't talk about Dragon's Crown Pro. I'm still playing it. I got through all the main missions, and then it's like, oh, now you have to find 9 talismans. And to find the talismans, you have to beat these special bosses. These ulterior paths open up on all different levels, and you got to take them. You got to beat these special bosses within like 20 minutes. And they're like level like 28, level 35. And so now I just have to grind, and I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Because it's a lot of playing the same levels over and over and over to level up. And I think I'm done with it. So I got pretty far, but I don't think I'm ever going to go any further. So just to follow up on that. And as promised, Jake, let's take the quick Push Square quiz. We decided to not do it last week, and I told the listeners we would do it this week. So I'm going to open this up, and we're going to do this quiz. So for new listeners, pushsquare.com is a site we get a lot of our news from, and they have these general knowledge PlayStation quizzes. Jake and I have yet to get 100%. We've come very close, and we've come very far away, depending on the questions they're asking. And it's usually 10 to 15 questions. It's 15 questions. So let's start with question 1. Oh, Jesus. What's the name of the main character in PS1 RPG, The Legend of Dragoon? It's a picture of this guy. He's got like some sort of dragon armor on that's red. He's standing real stoically in front of the moon or another planet. Is his name Dart? Luke? It's not Cloud, or is it Artur? It's probably Luke,
it's
dude.
Dart?
Ooh. I've never played this game.
I think it's Dart. I did play it. I never beat it, but I did play it quite a bit.
I'm gonna click Dart. Hoo-hoo-hoo! Bam! Out of the fire. All right, thanks, Jake. We are correct. Question number 215, listeners. Which of these PlayStation titles was not developed by Insomniac Games? Ratchet and Clank, Up Your Arsenal, Spyro the Dragon, Fuse, or Maximo, Ghosts to Glory?
I think it's Maximo.
I've never even heard of Maximo.
Yeah, because Ratchet and Clank, obviously they did that. Spyro, obviously they did that. Fuse, pretty sure that was the game that they did for like EA or Activision
I'm with
or something
you.
like that, and it was dead in the water. I'm pretty sure it's Maximo.
I'm agreeing with you just because I've never heard of Maximo. And I'm like, I probably would have heard of it if Insomniac had worked on it before. We're gonna check Maximo. Correct. Good job. 2 of 15 correct. In what year was No Man's Sky first revealed? 2015, 2014, 2016, or 2013? This is a tough one.
I think it was 2013. I think it was when the fucking PS4 was either launched or announced.
It's either 2013 or 2014.
I'm pretty sure it's 2013 because I think it was like that was like one of the things they were using to sell the console when it first came out.
Let's say 2013. Correct. Jake, coming through, man. You're killing it right now. What is the setting of Elden Ring called? The Lands Between, the Fallen Kingdom, the Realm of Nightingale, or the Kindling Plain? So,
It's the Lands Between.
yeah, and I haven't even played it. Good job. Dude, question 5 of 15. Listeners, are you ready? In Metal Gear Solid 4, which character does Old Snake shoot in the head only for them to survive? Is it Roy Campbell, Raiden, Vamp, or Liquid Ocelot?
Did you play this game?
I did, but it's been forever.
I never played this game. I only played the demo for it, but I'm almost positive I know the answer,
Wait.
and I think it's Vamp.
You've never played Metal Gear Solid 4?
I've never played Metal Gear Solid 4.
It was
And I've
really
never beat
good.
Metal Gear Solid 3.
I-
I've heard like Metal Gear Solid 4 was pretty divisive because some people didn't like how kind of actiony it was.
Oh, dude, I loved it.
But
Let's go,
it,
Vamp.
it always seemed like a game I'd really. I played like the first couple hours of it, and I really liked what I played, but I just never got around to beating it.
Well, let's pick Vamp. I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's Vamp.
Correct. Good job. If I had to have guessed on that one, I would have said either Liquid Ocelot or Vamp. All right, who is Tekken 7? Who is this Tekken 7 character? Isn't Tekken your game, Jake? Your fighting game?
Tekken 3 was my fighting
right.
game. I have no idea who this person is.
This is going to be the one that buries us for a perfect score.
Just
Is it Anna Williams?
A girl.
So
she looks like a flapper from the 20s, but with a lot more tits and skin.
and she's got like the bird feathers all
feathers.
around her.
Yeah.
So is it Anna Williams, Katarina Alves, Josie Rizal, or Julia Chang?
I have no idea.
I bet you it's
dude.
Katarina. That sounds like a ballerina. And she looks like a dancer, kind of, right?
You just pick whatever you want, man, because I have no idea.
The listeners are freaking out right now. Someone knows. Anna Williams is way too American. And Julia Chang doesn't really seem to fit what the character appears to be. I'm going Katarina Alves. Damn it, it's Anna Williams. Are you kidding me?
That's bizarre.
That's stupid. Go figure. All right, question 7 of 15. What kind of game is Koei Tecmo PS3 title Trinity Souls of Zil Ul? Let me reread that. What kind of game is Koei Tecmo PS3 title Trinity Souls of Zil Ul? Is it a strategy game, an action RPG?
It's an action RPG.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Open world platformer or point and click? Let's go action RPG. Good job, Jake. Well, they showed a picture. It looked like RPG stuff, but okay, here we go. Characters from which horror game franchise were added to Dead by Daylight in June of 2021? Resident Evil, Outlast, Silent Hill, or Death Stranding? It wasn't Death Stranding.
I think it was Resident Evil. I'm pretty sure it was Resident
That would
Evil.
make the most sense. Outlast isn't big enough for people to care. Yeah, Resident Evil's correct. PS3 title Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing was primarily developed by which studio? Sonic Team,
no idea.
Criterion Software, Sumo Digital, or Dimps. I'm going to roll out Dimps right off the bat. I don't believe that Sonic Team would make sense. It's probably Criterion Software.
Criterion, I think, is a racing game company, but I don't know that they do like kart racers. I thought Criterion did like Need for Speed.
It could be Sumo. Maybe it is Sonic Team, dude. I'm really at a loss on this one. I'm gonna let you guess.
I doubt it's Sonic Team because that would be kind of a stupid question to ask if Sonic Team was the
a little too obvious, right? And Dimps, I've never even heard of them. We know Criterion do racing games. Sumo Digital, I feel like if they had done this, I probably would have known.
I mean, but Sumo... No, never mind. I'm thinking about Sanzaru. It was the one that did the Sly 4.
Right.
So I have no idea, to be honest
I'm going to
with
go
you.
Criterion. It's Sumo. Fuck. I'm the worst guesser. This is why you have to guess for us when we don't know. In detective adventure game, is that AI or OWL? It looks like AI. The Somnium Files. What does Secret Police Organization ABIS stand for? Stand for Arc Bolstered Insurgent Squad, Astral Black Illumination Squad, Advanced Brain Investigation Squad, or Artificial Bioware Instigation Squad. It's probably Arc Bolstered Insurgent Squad. Secret Police.
What does that even mean?
Well, it's a secret police organization. So they wouldn't be an instigation squad. They could be an investigation squad. It could be advanced
I was
brain.
say investigation is the only one that makes any
Astral
you know,
Black.
sense.
Let's
in
do the
terms of,
investigation squad. You want to do that one?
Okay. Yeah.
Correct. Good job. You're right. That's the only police term. Who was the last boss in PS1 rhythm game Bust a Groove? Is it Heat, Robo-Z, Copira, or Gas-O?
Well, in my opinion, Robo-Z sounds like a final boss from the PS1 generation. So that's the one I would pick, but I've never played this game before.
Neither have I. Robo-Z it is. It is Robo-Z. Good job. Man, you're the best guesser, dude. Okay, listeners, we need your help on this one. What average, this is ones we always suck on. What average critic review score does PS3's Red Dead Redemption have on Metacritic? Is it a 98, a 95, an 88, or a 91?
Gotta be in the 90s.
I'd say 95, dude.
And it's not a 98 because I don't know that there's any average Metacritic score of 98 on Metacritic.
Red Dead 1 was huge, dude. I bet you it's 95.
Yeah. Go for it.
Nah, they've all been in the 80s every time we've done these.
No. This one's in the 90s. I'd say go with your gut.
95, correct. We got it. 13 to 15. Sorry, guys. If you guys don't enjoy these quizzes, just let us know. I love taking them. How many years was the gap between the release of the original PS4 and the release of the PS4 Pro in the US and Europe? Was it 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years? I would say 2, man.
It was a little longer
3.
than that.
It couldn't have been 4. It's probably a little longer
3.
than 2, a little shorter than 3. Longer than 2, but shorter than 3. What do you think?
3.
All right, let's go 3. Correct. Here we go. 14 to 15. We've only missed 2 so far. PS4 game Detroit Become Human was based on a tech demo by developer Quantic Dream. What was the tech demo called? Maria, Mona, Kara, or Nora? It was Kara.
It was Kara, yes.
Boom. Got it. All right. Question 15 of 15. What was the first The Sims game to release on a PlayStation console? Was it The Sims, The Sims 2, The Sims 3, or The Sims 4? Probably 2.
I I have no idea. What the fuck?
What?
Sorry, I just went on Metacritic because I said that I don't think there's any game that has a 98.
Yeah.
There are quite a few.
The Sims 2. Are you good with The Sims 2?
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
It's The Sims. All right, so we got 12 out of 15 listeners. Not bad. Good job. I will say that. And let's get back to the news. Jake found a ton of games.
The Ocarina of Time has a 99 on Metacritic.
What is it?
The Ocarina, Legend of Zelda,
Yeah.
The Ocarina of Time on N64 has a 99 on Metacritic.
People
Tony
love
Hawk's
that
Pro Skater
game.
2, Pro Skater 2 is second place with a 98.
Can't wait to play the remake here.
Grand Theft Auto 4 has a 98 on Metacritic. So, now to be fair, back in 1998, there weren't that many people reviewing video games. So, like, there's like only 22 critics on this for Ocarina of Time. But I digress. Continue on with the news.
Speaking of Grand Theft Auto, Jake, I don't know if you've heard, Grand Theft Auto 6 will be getting a lead female protagonist. And from what I've read, because Bloomberg uncovered some stuff, it looks like this will be a story centered around two characters that engage in Bonnie and Clyde-like activities. The game is also rumored to be set in a fictional Miami, but most likely won't be released for at least a couple years. And reminder, Grand Theft Auto 5 was released in 2013, but some developers at Rockstar reported to Bloomberg that they are still skeptical that they'll be able to hit the GTA 6 release window of March of 2024. So,
That's 11 years.
yeah, but they did do Red Dead.
That's true. But that's still a long time between GTA games. And Red Dead 2 is enormous. So I guess
When did
I
Red
can
Dead 2 come
believe
out? 2020?
2019.
So it took them 6 years to make Red Dead 2. So when Red Dead 2 came out in 2020, I would imagine GTA 6 will be 2026.
Well, Red Dead came out in 2019. So I'm guessing if they're saying they're skeptical about 2024, you might as well just assume delays. Maybe
Holiday 2025.
spring of 25 or, holiday of 25. Long ass time from now.
So at least another 3 years probably. So this news point's irrelevant outside the fact that the protagonist, one of the two, will be female, which is interesting. And they tried to post this thing about how this is the first time you've been able to be a female protagonist, and that's not quite accurate. I believe Grand Theft Auto 1, they had several female protagonists, but it doesn't 100% count because it was like top down, and you couldn't even tell you were playing a male or a female. It was just from the blips for the conversations, you could see their face. That's all I got. Anyways, interesting. And last but not least, Jake, for news that I have, and I didn't even know this was a thing, but this was put up on Push Square, and it says, I'm just going to read off of their website as to not get ripped on plagiarism, because I don't know much about this. So this is straight from the news from pushsquare.com. It says, one of the PS5's flagship features will be discontinued later this year as no one used it. Accolades were introduced on the new gen console as a way of allowing players to acknowledge each other's efforts in online games. The function enabled you to award teammates and opponents badges based on their playstyle, so you could say they were helpful or welcoming, for example. But a post on the official PlayStation website notes that uptake has been low. In fall of 2022, the Accolades feature on PS5 will no longer be supported. The feature hasn't seen the level of usage we anticipated, so we are refocusing our efforts. We encourage the community to continue to send positive messages to one another. And then it says that Sony recently pointed out that engagement across its consoles has been much lower than they anticipated of late, and that it's working to increase the amount of playtime owners invest across both PS5 and PS4. We imagine new initiatives like the loyalty program, PS Stars, which we talked about last episode, will help with that. So it does make sense for the company to move away from Accolades if they aren't getting used. And I didn't even know this was a thing. I don't play enough online to know. And I'm okay with them walking back on this, you know?
If I had known this was a feature, I would have said it's going to die on the vine. Because I don't know why anyone would ever do this. I mean, it's like one of those, like, in my opinion, it's one of those like, those features that would be used if this was like a movie where everybody's like happy and like giving each other high fives and stuff. Like, no one's gonna do this because you can't give it to your friends. You can only give it to people you don't know. You can only give it to like one player like every 12 hours or something like that. So like, I just don't like. Usually, if you're playing an online game, I don't know. You just send that guy a message on PSN that's like, GG bro or something like that. Like, you're not gonna fucking go through all these menus and select like this accolade badge or whatever to send to them. So, I don't know. It seems like something where Sony was trying to
encourage, like,
they were trying for something that was
they're
just
trying
not
to
gonna
encourage
happen.
just people to be polite online, I think. And I think that this could have worked if they would have come up with like built-in trophies in the firmware or something for like using their new features. Like, maybe like, give someone 50 accolades and you get like a trophy or something. That'd be kind of cool, actually. Not a bad idea. But like, I think the feature may have worked if after you were done gaming with someone, you could send them like a PSN message saying, hey, please click here to award me an accolade if you enjoyed your experience with me. And then like you just click a button and be over, right? But like, it's almost like, okay, was I able to assist you with everything you called for? Yes. Okay, well, I'll be sending you a survey to your email, and I would like you to respond to let my employer know how well I did. Right? Like then you'd be like, all right, maybe, yeah, sure. But like, players aren't going to fucking take the time to rate another player unless it's like thrown in their face that they should do it. So,
yeah.
I don't know. And that would just get really annoying. But built-in firmware trophies to utilize the new features of the PS5 actually sounds like a good idea. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
All right, Jake, did you have any other news, or can we go to the new games this week or this week?
No, new games. Jump right into that.
Yeah, let's jump into it. It's getting kind of late, guys. Guys and girls, new games August 2nd, Frogun on PS5, PS4. August 3rd, we're getting South of the Circle on PS5, PS4. August 4th, we're getting Arcade Archives, Dig Dug. Dig Dug was a hell of a game, PS4. We're also getting Sword and Fairy Together Forever on PS5, PS4. August 5th, we're going to get After Wave Downfall, PS5 and PS4, and we are going to be getting Giga Bash on PS5, PS4. That's interesting about Dig Dug. The game was awesome. That was like the first, it's like the equivalent of the first SteamWorld Dig way back in the day.
Dig Dug, I wouldn't be surprised if this game blows up just like briefly just because of Stranger Things.
Dig Dug?
Because don't you remember there's that whole arc
I didn't watch
season 2.
I didn't watch it.
You haven't watched any of it?
I've only watched the first season. We're actually going to jump back in and watch it all over again.
So
yeah.
It's awesome. Season 2 is coincidentally in my opinion, the worst season, but there's this whole arc in season 2 about one of the characters playing Dig Dug in the arcade, and about his high score getting beaten by like the new kid. So,
well, 100%.
Maybe people will be into it.
Dig Dug 100%
Stranger Things
was bitten off of by the SteamWorld Dig people for sure. Just the general idea. Dig Dug was awesome. I loved that game growing up, but I liked a lot of games growing up. Yeah, maybe you're right, Jake. You heard it here first. Dig Dug's gonna blow up.
Maybe.
All right. Well, that's all I got, Jacob, and it's Sunday. We're recording this on Sunday. If I do my due diligence, it will be online, and you guys will all be listening to this Monday morning. It's getting late. Got to work in the morning, and we're going to tie it off, I think, here. Thanks for tuning in to the episode. Again, this is episode 234 of PS This Is Awesome, a PlayStation podcast. We will be back next week with some more video game talk, so make sure to share this with your friends like we talked about earlier. Give us a like, subscribe to us on YouTube, all that good stuff. We're trying to blow up our channel a little bit, and next episode that we put on YouTube, I will try my best to put chapters in. So if you made it this far, you're a champion. We'll get the chapters in next week maybe. So without further ado, like Off the Grid, Open Roads, and Onrush. P.S.
P.S.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.